horsing around in there. They were playing. Yeah, they're just so little.
Was she happy with her winter with them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She looked really happy competing, Lex single.
She said, and Donna said too, and Tracy, she's like, I think you're happier driving single. Because you know how Donna stresses out about every little thing?
Every detail.
I think it was just.
And I think she actually had Lex going well.
Yeah.
And he's willing to go single.
Yeah, before he would like run off somewhere.
He quit. Go backwards.
He would spin around.
Yeah. Go backwards, run up a tree. He generally has spills. I bet you didn't want to come. Hi, Annie. This is Annie, right?
Yep.
Looks like it's going to be hard to keep weight on for a while.
Yeah.
She's busy all day here, and she's such a little bag of bones.
I think she basically just has all the food she wants. I probably have to get her some higher calorie puppies.
Yeah. Miney,
I had to feed that to Lilo for a year.
mine eat Taste of the Wild
That's what mine
puppy food, and they do really well on it.
She has a bowl of it right there, actually, right in front of her
She
nose.
probably can't slow down long enough to eat it.
Yeah, well, and she ate a big bowl of food this morning, so I think her stomach can only hold so much.
Yeah. Well, I think she's going faster than she can pack meat on.
Yeah. But she does come and just lay down too, so.
Yeah, she
I
rests.
forgot, I haven't had a puppy for a long time. I've taken care of puppies, but I haven't lived with one for a long time.
She's such a bag of bed knobs.
Yeah.
She's really cute and houndy.
She's so funny though, she's like Penny, let's just go to sleep.
Right, anywhere.
Like last night I got home and Penny's like, let's go to sleep, let's go to sleep. Let's go to sleep.
Well, Penny runs so hot, she's gonna get tired.
Yes. But she was waiting for me to get home.
Yeah, she needs them on. Then now she's done. Let's go sleep.
When we were in Florida, she kept doing this. She'd be like, let's just go home.
Yeah.
Anytime that there was like, anything going on, let's just go home. Forget it. Let's just go home.
I'm done.
Yep.
I've had all I can take for the day.
That's what she says like when she's stressed out and just wants to quit.
Yeah, let's go home.
Let's just go home.
Well, at least she knows what to do.
Yeah.
Nice walk, buddy.
Yeah, were you up at the barn? I never got to go see the results or whatever because we were dealing with
Was your child in the
Morrison or whatever that town.
The Morrison sheriff.
Yes. Actually, you know what? We had like, I called Denise, and Denise, she doesn't have an OnStar, but she used to.
Yeah.
So they actually just unlocked it remotely. Like we have the VIN number, So,
that's what I do.
And
you couldn't. She would.
it was one of those. I was trying to like get the horses taken care of and get the stalls cleaned out, and I didn't want her under feet.
Yeah.
And I didn't want her wandering off somewhere in the woods.
No, that's actually a good place
So
for
she
her.
wanted to go play.
Yeah.
So I stuck her there and gave her like, I don't know, a cracker or something. And then I was doing something and I saw the lights turn on.
Yeah.
So she knows she's not supposed to play with the lights, so she panicked and grabbed the door to hide.
And then you couldn't get her to unlock it.
No, and then she had this like jar of pears, or like a, I don't know, to-go Tupperware thing of pears.
Yeah.
And I was like, do not eat those in the truck before, because I didn't want it spilled all over
Right.
Denise's truck. So then she was like, Mom can't get to me.
So she's eating the pears.
So she went in the back seat, was trying to open the pears, and then she couldn't get them open, and she just went to sleep.
Yeah, I heard she was asleep by the time the sheriff got there.
Yeah. And we were in the shade, so it was...
It wasn't really child abuse.
No, it was like 10 minutes. She crawled in the back like,
Let's go home.
let's just go home. All right.
And she'd had a busy weekend.
So I have a slightly suicidal cat here.
I see that. Which
He's been doing this. Like he just walked right out in front of things. And
that's one of the black boys, isn't it?
Yeah. And he just does the stupidest things and just doesn't move. He just doesn't care.
Is he getting old?
Yeah, he is old, and he had an ear infection or something, and then he fell back behind the wall in the arena. But nobody, he couldn't jump.
And nobody heard
So
him.
nobody knew he was there for like a week.
Oh, wow.
And Dina found him back in the wall. We couldn't even recognize him. The cat
And
is this a different cat?
he didn't even cry.
No. So we took him to the vet and they, he was on antibiotics and got ear infection treated and he was dehydrated. And then, so he always has like a tip, he's always
Yeah,
asking.
I noticed he looks at you with his head like this.
Yeah. Well, it was like he would like take 3 steps and then just tip over.
Jada?
And then he got in a fight with another cat. So he's got
He's a hard luck kid.
But he, I don't know if he just doesn't want to live anymore or what.
Jada, what
Hey,
it looks like
you-
Ace is in Royalty stall. What is the status?
That's Al.
Al, sorry, not Al.
I guess
Al is
just
in-
leave Royally outside for now and just
Is
leave.
there a feedback for Royalty?
Just use Al's. It's on in front of his stall.
Okay.
So I have to figure out what to do with him. Do you see how bad he looks?
Yeah.
He was the one that ran through the fence again.
He looks terrible.
Oh.
That's why.
That's who broke out.
Yeah. I would,
Oh.
Well, Spice did as well, but
But Al led the pack.
yeah. Well, Al broke that fence.
You
Spice doesn't break the fence, she just crawls through.
This voice of this cat has a bald spot on the side of his head too.
Yeah, that's from, there's another black cat named Monster that got him.
Yeah, that's quite a sore. No wonder his head tips. Yeah.
His head is always slightly, he always looks really questioned.
Well, and he looks at Annie like he's not sure she should be here.
Yeah, that might be his opinion on that.
Yeah, he's like whatever that is.
Have you ever seen a cat that's just like, I don't know if it's just, his luck is running out?
No, I've never seen one that.
And then he just like puts himself in harm's way all the time. Usually when cats have problems, they just kind of stay out of the way.
They usually go somewhere and hide.
But he goes and like sits right in front of the horses. There'll be 2 or 3 horses running around in here, and he'll go and lay down right in front of them.
He must have a death wish.
And I was like, maybe he knows that it's the end of his life, so lives are running out.
His coat's beautiful. He looks healthy.
He's just, maybe he's retarded or something now.
Maybe he got brain damage from the deer infection.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, I don't know.
I don't know where I am or what I'm doing or why.
Maybe he needs to be in the house. He's such an outdoor cat.
Yeah, he's always half wild.
Yeah.
This one's hocks look good
Yeah.
because he's not running in the woods and the sand as much. They look really good now.
Yeah, and it's been, rainy and windy, and so basically we've been working in our nice little box here.
Well, and the footing is so kind.
Yes, and outside there's sinkholes and mud piles and
Frost
hard
boils,
ground,
hard places,
tufts of grass that are tripping over.
and big piles of poop in your good one. I don't know how you're gonna get that mess cleaned up.
Yeah, that's Brandy. I guess I'm gonna have to go out there with the rake.
Well, since then, you might be able to take a low set wheel mower out there and just blow it all apart.
We also,
Because, manure spreaders don't break stuff up like they
well,
used to.
no, it wasn't like that, but he dragged it.
Oh, and it
And
made
when
lumps.
he dragged it, he had to, instead of flipping the drag the right way, he just dragged it upside, or with the spikes.
Yeah.
And then all the hay, and that was.
And all caught in
Well,
it.
and most of mine, like the stuff I spread on the field, it's all like broken down
Yeah.
with shavings and, it's broken down
This
for like
is all the round bale garbage for
This is
years.
all from Randy's horses.
Yeah,
And he scraped around like his round bale.
yeah.
And his round bale feeder's all flailed out and broken, so it doesn't do any good. So
And it can't even break down
well,
right.
and because he hasn't cleaned it so long, the crap around the round bale feeder was taller than the round bale feeder.
And solid.
And so then when he dragged it, it just rolled all up.
It's a mess.
I don't know, Dale said we could go out there maybe with the fifth wheel rake.
Yeah,
And
something.
and Randy, Randy's like, well, when we mow it, and I said, well, it's not a hayfield.
No, it's a lawn.
And I was like, and I wanted to use it, but not today, I guess.
It's a lawn actually.
Well, yeah, so I don't know what the best, I think I'm gonna might get Dale to go out there with the rake, and then see if me and Dina can just scoop it up.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
I'm having a little issues with Randy,
Yeah.
and then it causes
I
issues.
mean, I swear he's an idiot.
Well, I know, but then it causes issues with Matt, and then it causes
Yeah.
my whole life to be stressful, and I don't like it.
Isn't he the course designer for your event too?
Yes, except for,
while
to
ago.
buy. A while ago. So he needed money for a down payment. So, but, you know, so he was gonna sell his tractor. So he sold his tractor. I bought his tractor for the money for a down payment, right? So
But he didn't go yet.
he didn't go yet, and I had a but like his horses don't pay board, and you know he's supposed to take care of them because that was our agreement for being able to lease the tractor to use the tractor for stuff.
Yeah.
So now it's not happening either way. So the whole point is he needs to go.
Yeah, he's just a tanker.
And I don't want to be and, you know, he's just I don't want to be a jerk and like throw him out in the streets, but.
Well, you don't wonder why Christy got rid of him.
But as far as like a business too, you know, I have a house and stalls and all that stuff that I need money for.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a gravel bill to pay. I'm gonna have a lot of hay to buy.
This, as you say, this is not your hobby.
We're on the very, you know, we have enough hay to get through till first cutting. So.
And his horses are still here?
Yes. And I have a girl that works here.
Yeah.
Her parents have a 4,000 acre farm. She said he could go turn them out and just let them run.
Until they croak.
If he doesn't want to take care of them.
Well, they're not going to live forever anyway.
For free.
Yeah.
Just take them and turn them out on a 100-acre pasture and just let them. They have wells, they have water, they have hay.
I don't worry about them.
Well, I mean, how's it any different than out here? At least they would be able to get out of the icky.
Well, and they're not at somebody's.
And they'd be able to move.
And they're not at somebody's business.
Yeah.
He looks pretty warmed up.
All right, buddy.
I like all the stretching.
Yeah, I've come to the conclusion with him that, especially when he's kind of in a mood, you have to just kind of let him.
He's got his neck down. He's got all the tightness is out of his back and his butt. And he really, when he gets the stretch thing going, he really expands his motion.
Yeah, he gets way softer.
Yep. Ray Fisher was so wowed by your dressage test. Both times he said those judges don't know anything. She should have won.
Donna was there, and she's like, yeah, 12 minutes of warm up is not enough.
No.
And Ray's like, well, 12 minutes is the answer. Do that every time. And he goes to Donna and he's like, don't tell her not to warm up for 12 minutes because that worked.
He was brilliant.
Except for
he was brilliant at Live Oak.
Except for his first halt was
a little edgy.
I think Live Oak he was exhausted. I think it was mentally taxing for the boy.
Well, there was a lot going on there. That's a pretty busy zoo.
Wait.
Careful. That's a good boy. Wait there, good boy.
This is what I get when he's in his fancy mood.
Yeah, when you try to go from free walk or lengthened walk to anything else, and the back end starts moving, which is fine, but.
Yeah, but that's just kind of him not paying attention.
Yeah. What he does is he gives you the first response he comes up with instead of waiting for instruction. Yeah. And then it was a very nice transition. Yeah, he's feeling a little buzzy.
Yeah, when he gets a little buzzy, he's just kind of like, whatever. He still does everything. It's not like when he was a little buzzy before.
No, but he's got a lot of energy coming through, and then he's like, well, I can't control this neck.
Well, and also he's pretty fit.
Yeah, he should be pretty fit still. He was mighty fit during the winter. That's a good boy. And, other than rhythm and regularity, to go early on to try to get him to give you a consistent head carriage, because it's the one thing he still doesn't always get.
Yeah.
And he's not, being rude or overt, but the head just wanders about. That's Indy's biggest sin.
He doesn't know how to control his neck.
No, he doesn't. And and even though he doesn't look tense, and I know that's the last bit of tension with him, is that he can't just settle into the bit.
Yeah.
And he doesn't object to the bit. It's only on the ring anyway, and it's got a arch 45 mouth, so it's comfortable.
Yeah, he doesn't object to it, he just gets distracted.
Well, his body gets to wandering around because he's not thinking about staying together.
Yeah.
His neck is a problem for him. Because he likes to close the throat. You don't need to lengthen.
Well, and I don't know, like most horses, he has that kind of under neck.
Yes.
Most horses, it's muscle. His windpipe is like,
Right there.
well, no, I don't know if it's his windpipe or his trachea or whatever.
Something's there.
But he's got like cartilage
Yeah,
there.
well, that's his windpipe.
So I'm guessing
His trachea.
it's how he was put together.
Yep.
Part of it. That's probably why it's so easy to go because his head's put on funny. So it's so easy to go to there.
His throat is very slim, his jaw is very wide, so it's easier for him to mess with that.
Yeah.
The base of his neck is set a little low, and he's a little tight in the withers, so give it the withers and give it the shoulder.
And he's a little butt high.
Yeah, well, that's much better, because he's learned to kind of carry it under, and he's learned to tuck his butt. But the neck has too many options that are easy and too many options that are hard, so he comes up with the easy one first.
Yeah. Which I guess is typical for a horse.
Well, they will always seek the path of least resistance. Even like, he's not a lazy horse, he's a hog horse, but he's still looking for the easy way out.
Right. I think I can do this a little bit easier than what you're at.
Yeah, they'll always look for the way to cheat. And it's just, that's horse. The nature of horse. This is quite nice though. And he's much better about bringing the inside hind under this, which makes all the difference in his rear end. You can think of every turn as starting, like even there, starting with the inside hind. Ah, that's it. And then the shoulders just come around automatically, and you get that really big supple bend.
Huh? A bird just dropped took a hay on me.
That's nice. Better than what it might have dropped on you. So this is very nice. Rhythm's good, regularity's good. He is relaxing and stretching as you go, but just keep yourself only liking it if the hind leg comes under. So the inside hind to the outside rein is, without the outside rein getting heavy, is what you're looking for. That's a good boy. Then you get a...
And he's sneaky, like, he doesn't really get heavy because
It gives you the jaw instead.
so I kind of have to, when he, so he doesn't shorten his neck and do that, I kind of have to just make him heavy.
Yep.
For,
Well, and actually,
is that the correct way to do it?
yes.
So,
Let them get
I
heavy.
basically say you have to go into my hand and
Yeah.
stay here.
They have to, like,
If you don't like it so heavy, then quit.
my original hunter instructor was Captain Littauer, which was the man that brought the forward seat.
And it's not, when I say heavy, it's really not.
No, but you can feel it. It stays connected.
Yeah.
And we had to do everything on a loose rein, walk, trot, canter, hold back, and jump, before we were allowed to pick the rein up. And then when we picked the rein up, we were supposed to get it just short of us touching them, and then they reach for it. And that's what you have to do with him, because he has to know that you're there, and that getting rid of you is not one of his options.
Yeah.
There, he's,
he does not, he doesn't run through me.
no, but he's starting to come out to you
Yeah.
instead of cut up
Yeah.
away from you. Because you took the rein and said, I need you here. And you can do that just with the outside rein, or you can do it with both. Try to keep your fingers curled, because otherwise they're giving wiggly messages that he might back off from.
Yeah.
The outside rein works, but it's got to always be through the elbow, through the shoulder, so he knows it's not going to bind up on him. Because if he thinks he's going to get bound up, then he's like, well, screw you, I'm going to keep my neck.
Yeah, he's prepared for it.
Yeah, he is. This is good. So make sure if your outside rein says something, it does it by taking hold and then softening when he answers. But I keep seeing it go tug, tug, tug. Missy, you're going to get run over. I got fresh shit to eat. That's a good girl. How long have you had her?
Since Sunday.
Oh, not very long. Well, she's definitely better off with you.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was.
That's an unstable home.
Well, yeah, I think she means well, but she a little bit more.
Yeah. But she looks like she's a baby. And of course, since she's she's an urchin of some sort. Nobody took her dew claws off. She got those.
She hasn't had anything.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she's a, what do you call it, a red?
I think she's a red bone
A
cross.
red, well,
Yeah.
she's a red bone, Pyrenees cross.
Really, she's gonna be huge then.
Yeah, and that's good. Which is okay, I
Pyrenees,
don't mind big dogs.
Pyrenees crosses seem to be
And
the
not only
rage
that,
right now.
but Darcy said it's like one of the biggest Pyrenees that she's ever seen.
Oh God.
But it's okay.
They make big crosses.
I don't mind if she's big.
So make sure you feel the outside. Keep your finger close on the outside ring. Make sure you feel when he gets in it that you stay connected, and that he doesn't just suddenly. Hello. You found a new toy. Oh, what a funny pumpkin. What does Lilo think of her?
Oh, Lilo doesn't mind her.
Yeah, Lilo doesn't care.
Yeah, whippersnapper, I was gonna go over here and lay. Lilo does what Lilo does. My mother-in-law was here the other day, and she saw her laying there, and Penny's like, puppy, puppy. And my Carla goes, you got another sad dog? So she was just laying there all sleepy.
The puppy, that's the nice thing about hound puppies, is they like to run, but they're very easygoing. Like Opal, I'm sure, is a houndy cross, and she's just easy. When well, so she takes a nap. Then she gets up and runs like a bandit, but she backs off way quicker than the terrier. This is good. So just feel what the outside rein is doing. Allow him a quarter of an inch. He comes into it great. If he doesn't, take it back. So you kind of stalk him with your outside hand and make a point to take it back. And you only, it's only a quarter of an inch is very tiny.
Yeah.
Just kind of soften. There, now he's in it. Good, good. Yeah. And then you want to keep that.
So is he ducking down just to try to find a comfortable place?
I think he's at the spot in his warm-up where he's relaxed enough and been around enough. Now he's trying to decide, well, yeah, or whether he really has a problem or whether he wants to get more comfortable. I don't think he's in abject pain, but he's warmed up enough, and he stretched his neck enough. Now he's trying to find out where the exit is. So offer him the other outside hand. Yeah, good boy.
Yeah, this big heart's going.
Very supple, huh?
Yeah. I think it's a little chilly this morning too.
Yep.
It's probably why he's being goofy.
Am I just doing midwife week at night when it's cold like this?
He had his sheet on.
I don't want to deal with chilly bones. There. That. So anytime the nose comes out, I still see your outside range doing a lot of taking. It's got to be with, but you can connect, but not a lot of on it, because then he thinks you want him off of it. That's a good boy. Now the next thing you have to remember is in direction changes, not to have the neck come up, which is what every horse chooses to do, but when you can get them not to lift their neck, then you get a different kind of suppleness and a different kind of engagement through the back. There, good boy. I think he's discussing with himself how much connection he wants to take. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Oh, so he's there.
Yeah, good, good. But I can still see a little, he can't hide it. I can see a little tension in the bottom of his neck as he changes. So you want to, when you're changing, actually shake him a little bit off your hand and remind him to lift his neck up and relax the bottom when he changes, like that. Ah, much better, much better. I don't even mind the little up and down because he was giving the neck.
Yeah, okay.
But he has a little bit of an issue in his mind with can I keep my bounce, my go, and change direction without. And the other reason he wants to lift his neck when he changes direction is because God knows the world needs him to inspect it. And when you change direction, it's a new view, and you got to take a look.
Have you noticed that those, I don't know, Marek's kind of like that too. There's some horses that they can't just look out their eyeballs. They have to like turn their whole neck.
Now they got to.
They can't just turn their head.
No,
they have to turn their whole neck.
They got to stick the radar up in the air and do the periscope. That's nice. Good. So now he's softened around and opened a little bit higher frame. But I think he's still discussing with himself at the beginning of the day where he's looking for low or high in the body. Good boy. Good boy.
also, had pretty much 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And then I got back, I had a lot of catching up to do.
Well, he'd had a busy winter, a couple weeks off. Like with the endurance horses, we've done research and found as long as they get turned out,
Yeah, he got
it's
turned
6
out.
weeks before they start losing condition.
He got turned out every day with his buddies, and they moved.
Yeah, if they're
They
moving,
run up and down.
if they're moving, it's really not an issue.
But
But things like the stretch of the bridle get rusty.
yes, yeah.
That's a good boy. There. Then he's beginning to get a little too, I plucked at him, because he's beginning to get a little too relaxed. He's like, okay, now I found the way out of this job, take a nap.
Turned into Western
Yeah,
pleasure.
exactly. Good boy. So remember, every turn, first thought to be, bring up the inside hind leg. Even just trotting around the ring. There you go. Because if they go to back off and give themselves a break, usually it's the inside hind that they're cheating with. And he's the master of that. And of course, down, 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 yeah, there we go. So he reached at the end of that change. And when you have full white feet, it's really hard to cheat and not get caught.
And a big wrench on his face.
Yeah. No, if you quit moving your white hind legs, I'm probably going to notice. Like TJ's darn white hind legs on his black body. You notice if he quits. He does have a wrench on his face.
They help Stanley.
Yeah. The world needs another one of those. That's nice. Now he's open. Good boy. Good trick. Without losing he lost his bend a little bit in the corner. So he got stopped. He's about halfway making the transition back with his hind leg, halfway doing it with the front leg. Good boy.
The downward
Yeah,
transition.
yeah, that's the better. That time more of it was done by the rear end. And he started to brace with the neck, and then he went, oh, never mind. He still, and always will be dealing with, that's better. Yeah, good. So he has to do it in several steps, and he needs to do it by shortening and kind of grabbing with his hind legs. Otherwise, he puts his front feet out like that and jams them. Jordan's Elton, he's always, when he does lengthen, he hyperextends the front end. Like there's a picture of him in the GMHA calendar coming head on. Head on, you can see the bottom of his right front foot, meaning he did that with it.
Yeah.
And that's the one he hurt the suspensory on last weekend in Southern Pines.
Oh,
So he's out for the whole summer now.
oh.
But, dressage rider, they like that extreme trot.
Is that
It's that big black Dutch horse that he drives, the carries horse.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's a hyperextension injury. He flips his toe up and lands hard, and the suspensory got tired.
I suppose it did.
Yeah,
That's,
and I-
so that's like
That's
a year.
That's at least 6 months. And I met him twice on course, and it was ankle deep mud. Mine was scampering along at 18 kph. His horse looked like he was really lumbering.
It happened on course another time.
Yeah.
Probably.
It was unbelievable, that footing. I was really glad the R2 have their competitive trail base of soundness, because they've been tested enough. This horse hasn't. He's
How old is Elton?
He's 11 or 10. He gets treated like a 3-day horse. No, like a dressage horse, and ours get treated like 3-day horses.
Yeah. They're more durable, like the horses.
Yeah, they need to be like 3-day horses. This was 13 kilometers of ankle deep mud. It was really gross. So let's let him have a walk for a sec. Oop, oop, oop. See, that was done with the hind legs.
Yeah.
He sat. Very good boy.
Cinder block helped that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good boy.
Feel better?
I think that's why his hocks got sore this winter, because he and Wilson really do a lot of balance, sit on your butt, sit on your butt, and he's really good about it.
Yeah.
He loves it. That's why it feels so good. But his butt and his hocks got tired because God didn't mean him to
Because
do it.
they have to push.
Yeah, exactly. It gets stronger, and a lot of the combined driving horses have to have their hocks done every year, every other year, once they get to be 10 or 11. As Dr. Ann says,
12 now.
yeah, Dr. Ann says anytime there's an issue with a driving horse, start with the hocks or the stifle.
Stifle
stifles, but his stifles are good. Because I didn't put him on Rudiger, obviously. Or was he already getting Rudiger?
He is.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
stays on food.
Yeah, so that's,
I figure it's so cheap.
it's cheap and it really works. If your puppy's missing, I stole it.
Isn't she sweet?
She's lovely. I mean, she's really chewing on something. I mean, I need a puppy like I need a root canal. I got two that I finally got almost raised.
That's what I was thinking, but then I was like, well, I'll meet her.
Well, it needs a home.
Darcy said something about her because she has 9 other dogs,
God.
but they're like foster dogs, like older.
But how can you take proper care of a puppy with 9
You
other
can't.
dogs?
You can't. That's why she'll be perfect out here. Anyways, Lilo needed a friend. We don't have Lumpy anymore.
Yeah, she's cute.
Boy.
And she got all the right ideas. But she does have the need. Well,
You're like smelling.
Wilson was putting the drags on a horse that we just got. The Dwayne patch started, so I think it had a good start. The people were supposed to take it back to Dwayne last spring and get it finished, and they got in a battle because the husband of that couple had done a lot of work on Robin Lee and Dwayne's house and charged them twice by mistake. A big old range war. So the horse didn't go back, and then they tried to drag it, and then he got in trouble. So we have it. Wilson Aaron put it to the drags for the first time yesterday, and my dogs wanted to help. Wilson put them in the house. And so they took it upon themselves to dismantle a whole roll of paper towels.
Penny did that. Hey, you.
Oh, that's good girl. Good girl. Good puppy. That's very good. So they came out, he said, I guess they were insulted. So the girl that was having, he said, come in and see what work my artist puppies have done. And they had that roll, the whole roll. They took it out of the shelves. They had it everywhere. Then they were sleeping in it. When you're shiny black sleeping in a water white paper, you really can't hide it. So let's have the candor warm the back up. He does a wonderful thing. He stretches when he's resting.
Yeah, now you gotta come back up.
No, anything but that. Anything but come back up. That's a good boy. He didn't really stay in your hand, did he? You picked him up and he went, I don't need to hang out with you. That's not good. And then he's going to tell you, just give him a minute. Wait till he gets the trot organized. He's going to tell you he can't put the trot back together. You're telling him he doesn't have an option. Yeah, I know, you just wait. Wait till you get the trot back right. I don't even think he can get away with not putting the trot back together, because then he'll exercise that option. Now,
And then he'll do it every time.
exactly. Now hey, you know what? You probably can't eat the first thing out of the blanket. I realize it's in a knot, and it's really nice, but probably not a good idea. You ever feel like all you do is tell a puppy no? Hey, baby dog. Baby dog, get your snoot out of there.
There's little chewy things somewhere.
Mine have chewy things everywhere,
Yeah.
but then it's amazing what they can decide is chewy. All items become chewy for the mouth of the puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way you toy it.
Got your little puppy teeth.
Yeah, they love. Mine are year old now. They're still chewy. Now, oh, careful. Now you can.
Hey, no.
Yeah, not with the head up. Don't eat the blanket. Good boy. That was nice. It was worth waiting for. So even in canter, he has the same outlook my horse has. I can stretch my neck, and no, you can't. You can carry yourself. The way I look at it, he gets to work an hour a day. That gives him 23 hours to stretch as much as he wants. So if we want him to stay a little together, we can do that. Good. And it's rock and jump. Yeah, your cluck is well timed. So remember, if you want to improve the canter, your half halt, your cluck, your whatever, happens on the up. When he rises, you can, give me that, varmint. When he rises, you can fix things. When he's sinking, if you try to fix it, he gets heavier. That's good. So catch him on the rise, and you get more and more engagement, and a lighter canter, and the neck suddenly goes away. He says, you're not nearly as good entertainment as he thought you were. Good boy. As Wilson says, it's easy to get this horse fit for these Sunday canter.
Yeah, he doesn't mind doing it.
Just put the canter button and go through the forest. Good boy. Keep the jump. That's the only thing I see that happens. A little bit, he flattens, he goes, oh, this is hard. Go change direction.
Thinks he's getting tired.
That's what he thinks. If there was some place to go out in the open, no brace to the neck. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ooh. Yeah, don't let him canter again until he stops running away with you. He stuck his neck up in the air and then he said, oh, I don't, he said, I don't have any hind legs anymore. No, because you got rid of them. You're a funny bird. Yeah, you could be, oh, no. Nah, yeah, exactly one to run. Well, we have all day. We can just keep trotting and cantering till he finds it.
I'm the lesson after Diane.
Yeah, if he has something he needs to do, well, he can work on not doing it. I'm gonna put this thing up where you can't get it. Puppy dog. This is a smart puppy.
Yeah, she's very, very sweet too, and she just follows you around.
She wants to be loved.
But she's not incredibly obnoxious about
No,
like
she's-
jump. We've been trying every now and again. She tries to jump on you.
Her ears are almost perfect. They don't quite get to the end of her nose. But they're pretty darn perfect. With hound dogs, beagles, and all the hounds, we like the ears to touch at the end of their nose. Hers are quarter inch short. But the length of the ear probably wasn't helped by the other side of the pedigree. Yeah. So the hound is where the ears come from. The hounds, beagles, bassets, terriers. We want all their ears to meet on the end of their nose. But the Pyrenees doesn't do much for the ears.
I think that she'll just get mass with Pyrenees.
Yeah, it'll give her a funny coat. Big thick coat. It's nice hair. I like hounds. I always had hounds. I don't now, but I always used to. When I was in college, I had a basset, a Walker Fox hound, a Rhodesian Ridgeback, and their Rhodesian Ridgeback Walker son. That was my pack of hounds that I wanted. Judging by the size of your feet, you're going to be really big. Yeah. Those are mucklucks. That's quite nice, huh? Is he steadier in your hand now? It looks like he is.
Yeah.
We started canting the other way. He was just doing something goofy with his head that made your reins come and go, but now he's staying in them. And he wants to get over a bent, but he's not doing it. There. Better yet, huh? Because if you can help him, boy, doing what you just did, send his front end up out of the dirt. And he don't go out there. Good boy.
That's much easier when he's facing forward.
Yeah. Well,
That's
and when
when
he,
I get the head screwed around when he doesn't stay forward.
and if he doesn't stay forward, he doesn't stay up. And then you're supposed to be hopefully driving or riding a series of jumps. And sometimes when he makes an adjustment that he likes that we don't like, then you're driving a series of dives. And the dive doesn't do much for me. That's a good boy.
Yeah, diving versus a good.
No. Much as I hate to admit it, I really like the way Jennifer Keeler's horse Pony does it besides catching. She's right up there in the front end. You don't have to let her climb up if you don't want her. She can take negatives. Good boy. This is easy, huh? And you know what? I think it's because on right lead, he comes off the left hind, and the left hind is stronger. Because he definitely has more flow and more balance to the right.
Yeah.
Really nice. And he's actually setting his neck up really pretty.
He's not too curled in.
Nope, he's okay. He's right on the...
See, I cannot tell.
No, you can't. He's right on the cusp. And sometimes when it feels nice, it's because they're cheating. But as long as he keeps the front end up enough like that,
Right,
he probably isn't curling.
okay. See, I think maybe that's why I have troubles with, keeping, keeping the steady range, pushing it into it, then he curls.
Yeah.
And
But
if but if you don't push him into it, then he won't.
then he will. But he kind of has his own.
Not even a canter, like all the time.
He has his own system, and he decides how much weight of rain he's going to carry. So if he doesn't want to carry that much weight of rain, he just ducks out of it. And it's hard to, this is nice. And he looks uphill. There's a lot of engagement of the right hind. Too much. There. So work on coming back to really short. Because if he has to come back to really short, it will remind him not to get too open and falling on his head in canter. He can have a little rest and we'll do canter trot transitions. Good boy. There we go. There we go. Don't need to stretch unless she lets you. That's fine.
Except it annoys me because he goes down and then pops back.
Right. So the other, I made this arrangement with TJ years ago. He said, oh my God, I'm in pain, I got to stretch. And I let him stretch and put his head down, pop back up. I said, obviously you're not in enough pain.
Okay.
So if you want to stretch, stretch. And if you don't need to stretch, don't be bothering me about it. And he's really good enough, except when he's desperate. And then his head starts to make this little wiggle thing. But then when I let him down, he'll stay there, yeah. If he's gonna, no, that's useless. That's called make Jada drop the reins.
Yeah. Wait a minute, have I been tricked this whole time?
It's called Pony Bisley training you.
All right.
So either he's got to stay up or stay down. I don't really care which. Oh, very good. Feel him soften into that? That's good. So the rest of it, I want to work on canter trot transitions because I think it's a next level for him.
Yeah, he's a little bit, I'm afraid I have to a little bit negotiate with him.
I think so because he's obedient.
Well,
He says, you want me to stop cantering? I get that message. But you want me to do what with my body instead of flop?
Right.
But he needs to be able to come, well, it's like in 3-star B, he's got to come canter, collect. Like after the right lead canter, you plop into collected. You plop into collected trot. And you got to be able to do it. And then you just go to collected, you can't trot once after canter. Because after the second canter, you do extended canter. I think working trot.
Well, either way, I have to be able to trot after.
You got to be able. You got to be able to come back to balance and be organized. Yeah. Coming out of canter.
Sometimes he kind of just gets into his zone, and then he's like, "Oh, I can't change."
Yeah, well, and it's like his brain surgery to fix it.
Going along really nice, and then he's like, "Well, you want me to do something else now?"
When you canter, it's lovely, and then he goes, "You want me to change my balance for what?" I don't find it convenient. Well, we don't care what you think. Who are you doing at 11? I don't think I've seen Falcon work, have I?
I saw once like 8 months ago.
Yeah. I don't think I saw him in October. Is he doing better?
Yeah, I've actually only driven him. I drove him yesterday. He was really good yesterday. I mean, I've been long lining him and stuff. He was kept flat hands, just doing some like riding.
Yeah.
Just steady riding.
Just be quiet and happy.
Carrying stuff,
I saw him when he was eating yesterday evening when I was here. Even while he's eating, he's twitching because something moved and scared him.
Yeah.
Like, get over it.
That's and I was like, well, he just needs to learn how to be functioning before he can do any driving.
He needs to just exist.
And he can drive, but yeah, he does.
He reminds me of the Show Morgans because they the twitch, and because they do terrible things like they want them on edge all the time. So I know several trainers while they're eating, they go down the aisle and throw firecrackers in their stalls to keep them, and that's what he acts like he's expecting to be scared.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he
But that's also Dutchy.
Well, he also has the saying, you know, it scares him to relax.
Right. Is he all Dutch?
No, he's a quarter hackney
Oh,
horse.
Well, that isn't going to help the relaxation any. Like Donna's horse.
Which, you know, he's gotten pretty good. Like when I'm working him, I still get a lot of,
Yeah.
you know, like a baby. And he's also a baby.
He's a baby. I can tell by his color. I've seen that. I saw pictures of what's his snout driving him last year. Raymond driving him on Facebook.
And he had his head up here and
Yeah.
his chin cranked in and his legs
And
up
his
here.
belly hanging down and his back hollow. He looked like he was a mobile panic.
All right, big guy. That's enough.
Yeah, let's go back to work. We'll work on coming out of the canter. And at first, you just plain have to catch him. You know, like you can't even make a nice transition. You just have to say, when you come out of canter, you land in this speed of trot, and I don't wish to discuss the speed. I wish you to just land in it and wait. Ah. Yeah, she's not an unusual picture around here. Ooh, the brain's got a problem.
Yeah.
It is weirdo windy out there.
Yeah, I'm not going out there.
It's gusty. I don't feel like it.
He was a little weirdo when I was brushing.
Andy was so strange on
That's
Wednesday.
why I was like, I think I better just leave the back of the truck
Yeah.
for a little longer.
Andy was very strange on Wednesday because he was very quiet and tacked up. You know, he gets CBD oil. It made a huge difference in his soul. He was tacked up fine. He stood like a lamb top to be hitched. I got in and he was leaving. He's never done that in his 14 years. And then I stopped to talk to Wilson in the ring, and he's leaving. Every time I stopped and stood, he was leaving, and he never does that. But
Indy?
yeah, but the wind was, I mean, he always stands. He'd stand in a fire.
Yeah.
The wind was gusting up his butt, and he just was,
Yeah.
that was his only expression of, it's a windy day, but he just would walk off. He never walks off.
Well, that's what, you know, Marek, when he had a goofy day, he used to be a lot worse than this.
Oh my God, it used to be an explosion.
But he still needs to figure out how to function.
Yeah, just sublimate it all. Careful. Ooh. He pretends he thinks there's going to be a lengthen.
And then I probably grab him.
Well, you might have. You know.
Because I can feel him trying to like.
Well, there's nothing wrong with grabbing him. You know, it's not like you're going to hold him. You grab him, fix him, soften. But he needs to find out that when he ad-libs, you will grab him. Because there's relaxation and all that, but then there's base obedience.
Yeah.
Which means that Marek doesn't really get to pick the pattern. That's better now. It doesn't hurt him every once in a while to be as Wilson says, you don't want to start a pissing contest for this horse, but don't forget to fix him if he's wrong. That's
Yeah.
much better. Much better. No, you're not going to start a fight with him.
I also have to remind him to not. I just usually just before it turns into a fight, just tell him.
Knock it off. But, you know, nobody's going to pitch a fight successfully with this horse. But he does take reprimands just fine. That's a good boy. There you go. I think he's ready now. Careful. Yeah. You fixed him immediately, and he understands that. He understands correction. He understands adjustment, so very bunched. That's good. But he has to be corrected, and you can't feel bad about it. As long as you're consistent with what you ask, very nice. Very nice. I'm very happy to do it. He hasn't got the courtesy to get warm. It's a cold day, the big pony is quick. What's to get warm about? Whoop, whoop. There. So the first step is always fine, and then he's like a runaway waterfall. That was very well done.
So just another like kind of half halt, longer
Don't,
half halt.
don't think you got it just because you got it. Do it again and again and again. And have in your mind that you're going to hit this trot. Yep. Oop, oop, oop. There, better. Good. Where you going, Annie? Hey, down, puppy. Annie. Quick. Annie, come. Annie. She just noticed Diane.
She doesn't know her name.
No. She knows her nose.
They call
Come on,
her
sweetie.
Stella too.
Come on,
and
sweetie.
stuff like
That's
that.
a good girl. No. Annie was a very famous dog in my world. Annie was my Val hunter. She was perfect. So Annie's a good name. It was Annie, Angie, Annie, Angie, Amy, Albert, Andrew, and who was the sixth one? Arthur. There's the whole litter. That's better, huh? So you make the transition, then you make three more, probably 2 or 3 more, hey, wait transitions. Good boy. I think that will do a great deal to improve his general
So
balance.
right here, does his neck seem too stuffed in?
No, I think it's okay.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
I
He's,
get on
he's,
that
no,
when he's,
what you have to,
when he's shortening it or when he's lifting it?
and, no, actually, that's really pretty, but then you have to sense, is there any tension in it?
Yeah.
I don't see it, but you might feel it. I don't
And
see
then
any
his-
tension right now.
But like when his neck is here, his back is up and up.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. His neck's
I
okay.
guess that would be his hind leg.
A little more stretch from the wither would be prettier. Ooh, ooh, not quicker. He honestly does have a locomotion issue. Because if he puts his head down and doesn't balance to the back, then he's like, oh man, feet don't fail me now.
Well, yeah, he's, you know, just even if he's able to hold himself, but he's definitely, he struggles in some aspects.
Yeah, his first thought is, this is a lovely canter now. Very pretty. His first thought is to hold himself by bracing his neck instead of, better. Ooh. Yeah, so it's about a quarter of a circle before you really have him. Good. Good. So I wanted to come into trot and keep the trot because his job's going to become collected eventually. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. You feel when he stops shoving?
Yes.
Like he's going shove, 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 and then he went, what am I shoving for? That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah, I do know how to trot.
Exactly. And I'm looking for him to make that effort. That's beautiful.
Like he has to think about how to operate his legs.
Yeah, because instinct says, well, and if you watch them running in a field, when they run out of speed at the trot, they go cantering. Then when they stop, they pop their head up, digging their heels, and we don't want any of that. So we have to counterman. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Very good. Almost no tension that time.
Yeah.
He didn't do his, oh my God, I'm going to crash.
He just has to figure it out.
Yeah, it's a neuromuscular pathway he hadn't thought to operate, and you have to be there. Most people can't make canter trot transitions because they go, oh good, I survived the canter, and then the horse says, well, guess what I didn't? Good. See how lofty that is? That could become collection really easily. You can come in, Diane. Or you can blow away out there. You have 2 choices, come in or blow away. Wait, that's hard. Let go. She really wants to see Diane.
Yeah. Annie. Go on.
Come on, Annie. Annie, but Annie. Come on.